Hello, everyone. I'm Sam Eckmann of Gold Derby, and here with me is Tony nominee Julie White from the new comedy POTUS. And congratulations on this nomination, Julie. It's your fourth time as a Tony nominee. You keep getting invited back to the party. What is it like to be continually invited back in this way?
Oh gosh, I mean, it's just such an honor. I really didn't open a Broadway show until Little Dog Laughed. And since I've been on Broadway, just in the 15 years since then, I've gotten to go to the big show like 4 times. I mean, now I've gotten pretty good at it, like how the deal goes and how the day works. And the first time I went, my daughter came with me, and the last 2 times my sister Terry came with me. But this time I've got Terry on one side and my daughter Alex on the other side. So it's like 2 blondes, and now I'm a gray-haired person. And we're all wearing, like, I'm wearing bright blue and Terry's wearing pink and Alex is wearing green. So we're calling ourselves the Jewel Tones. And and I wear uncomfortable shoes on the red carpet and then immediately change into something different.
That sounds like a good strategy. You've got it down.
Yeah, and just have fun. I mean, the chances are you're not going to win. So you're mainly just getting, for me, I had not been to see any of the shows. So it's my chance to get a little snippet of all the musicals, and there's the performers are so great. People on Broadway are just so stinking talented, and it's so going to be thrilling. I'm going to see a piece of The Music Man. I'm going to see a piece of Six, which I've been dying to see Six. And, what is Paradise Alley about? I don't know. So there's a lot of things I'm super excited to get to see. And then there'll be a fun party. And there were some nominees that I've known forever. I did summer stock when I was 21 or 22 years old with Jane Howdy Show, wow, who I called Rowdy Jane Howdy Poot. So Jane is nominated this year. Jesse Tyler Ferguson and I are very good friends, and I think he's gonna maybe win his. And it's just fun. It's fun. The party at the plaza is fun. And it's fun to be with theater people. People are great.
Yeah, they sure are.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious about your show because you're obviously no stranger to comedy. And this is a comedy from a playwright that many of us were not familiar with. Sarah Fillinger is an up-and-coming playwright.
She's so young. Yeah. She's 28 years old now, 24 when she wrote the play. So this was her first play out of, this is her first crack, really. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a college thesis play.
So what was it about that script then? If it wasn't from, an established writer you knew, what was it about the script that grabbed you?
Well, the first word in the play. And that, I mean, I was just first asked to do a reading of it. And with Susan Stroman, was already attached to it. And I got there to do this sort of just reading. And there was a big room full of producers. So they already had their money people there and, their lawyer. And I was like, whoa. But I read the play and laughed so hard that I was sweating. It was that same, that what we were saying before we started recording this, that was sort of the measure of the last time I saw something on Broadway that seemed like POTUS, as funny as POTUS is, was One Man, Two Governors with James Corden. And it was this, oh my God, it was so funny. You were just like, pee your pants, sweaty, all my makeup sweated off. And that was like that in the reading. We got so tickled. And when Susan Stroman really gets cackling, oh my God, that makes me laugh. I just adore her. So then when the time came, when the play came together very quickly to get
Yeah.
in this Broadway season. And actually, when we first started rehearsal, we weren't going to be in this season.
Right.
We moved our opening so that we could be considered part of this season. And what has occurred to me in doing it is it took this young woman to like see things differently and be like, yes, I can write a farce, and the engine of this farce can be a woman. Because I'm the part that like Nathan Lane would play, or Gene Wilder, or Zero Mostel. And Susie Nakamura is my Matthew Broderick, you know? And we get to be and then there's those other like farce types that the women usually play, like the first lady is sort of the, you know, the diva bitch. And then there's the fresh-faced ingenue, which we have in Julianne Hough, and a little bit in Rachel Dratch, although Rachel is also like just this other like wild element. Like if you just released a dog on stage, you know, or a squirrel or something, or, you know, a raccoon just wandered out, because you can't take your eyes off of her once something happens to her sweet character that turns her into kind of a raving maniac. Like Lily Cooper is kind of the voice of reason, and Leah Delaria is like the voice of chaos. And it's just it's really cool. I don't know, speaking of dogs, my dog is allowed to go to Junior's restaurant across Stewart Alley. And she sat at the booth and put her head up over the table and saw all the stuff that we were eating. And the look on her face was like, wait a minute, this is what's up here. You know, why am I eating kibble under the table when all the good stuff is up here? And that's a part of me about this play, you know, it's like, ooh, I like to be the engine. I like to be the comic engine of a thing.
Yeah.
Which I sort of was in Little Dog. You know, she was this sort of overarching evil version of a fairy godmother. But this is really fun to get to work in a team and in a gang. We are so bonded together. We call ourselves the Magnificent Seven. But I mean, it's sort of weird, like to be nominated. I feel like, no, this should be best ensemble, because I'm only as good as each one of us. And if I were to win it, it would be like, well, we'll have to cut it up into 7 pieces.
Yeah, maybe one day they'll make an ensemble category for that type of thing. But
there is in SAG, you know, the
yeah.
SAG Awards have one.
Yeah. I wanted to go back to what you said, you know, the first word of this play, it just opens and you're shouting a very, you know,
no,
a word we can't really
shouting.
say.
My voice is just loud. I'm not shouting, I'm just saying it to her. And I say it a little bit different every night. And sometimes I can just, when the lights pop up, I get it out fast. If I don't get it out fast enough, they want to applaud for a little while. And so then maybe it takes Harriet a minute to actually say it. Yeah. I've tried saying it really softly. So when Susie says, what? Then I come back loud. You know, it's funny a number of different ways.
What's the sort of, because I nearly peed my pants at the start of the show, what is sort of the best audience reaction or response you've gotten from that moment?
I love it when people make a noise like this. Oh, like they're just shocked, because it was the worst of the worst kind of a word, but it's sort of like we're taking it back, I think, a little bit. This play definitely embraces it, and we actually sell merchandise with the word on it. Can I show it? So I don't know. It backwards. So it means to knock.
There you go. Yeah. It's a cheat.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of language in it, and a long running thread line about ass play, and the words ass play more and more get funnier and funnier as we go along.
How do you sort of, when when it's this high of a farce, how do you keep yourself grounded? Because it's a very, it moves quickly. There's a lot of business on stage. How do you keep yourself grounded and from breaking in those outrageous moments?
Oh, you know,
Or do you? Maybe you do
I
break.
have a little, I have a thing that's sort of a built-in chaos moment involving a glove that gets put on me, a rubber glove. And every time we put it on, it gets effed up in a different way. And sometimes it will be like so serendipitously funny that I too will laugh. My thumb came out tonight, like my whole hand came out, but we just got one finger covered with a piece of blue latex. And I looked down at Rachel Dratch and she was like, like, quick, go to black, go to black. But I don't know. I mean, there is something about it too. I find that the idea of that my character is so extremely capable and having to use all of her talents and skills to bail this guy out from one stupid effing thing that he does after another. And that feeling at the end, I mean, if I do my job right, I think when you hear some news about something that's happened to Harriet, it's a very gaspy moment from the crowd. You know, they're like, oh, oh. And Selena has a lot of things happening there right to the end of the play. And Susan Stroman just kind of throws it all together and then puts a musical number at the end. She's just a genius.
Well, the cool thing about how it veers towards the end is that even though it's a great comedy and a farce, it does have a really awesome message. And it's really, you know, without spoiling anything, it's really awesome to see your character finally take the spotlight for herself in a way towards the end and stand in her power.
Yeah, and then Susan put that great little like ting, like button after. Then we do a, you know, like a number, the Bitch Beats playlist, and everyone wanders off and Harriet stays on stage and is behind the podium, and just my hands go down on the podium and I look out at you like, and I won. You know, like what if someday it will be a woman. It will be. But so like that part of it, Jesus. Gloria Steinem came to see the show the other night. And it was like getting through the last moments of the play. Like when I talk about the future is the last line of the play. And I just, because I thought, how many disappointments, how long has she fought this fight? How long? And she was great afterwards. Oh my God, so gracious. She was like, I like the end. You win. You're going to win. Oh, man. So, you know, that part of it just feels like a great honor to get to have something to do with. And since we started the play, which we were very careful to say at the beginning, it's like, it's a romp. It's fun. It's a farce. It's an alternate universe. It's not about Trump. It's not about any real president. It's about a farcical president. But first, I mean, when the RV Wade decision, that piece of shit that Alito wrote was leaked, it was like, and there's a line that was always just a line in the play where Dusty says, I volunteer at a clinic back home in Iowa, and safe reproductive health care is a basic human right. And the audience just like stood up, you know, screaming and applauding. Women, you could hear it was women. And it was like a place to put your rage and like your outrage, and like that it's like absurd. It's absurd what is happening to us, to say, you can have something for 50 years and then we'll just take it away. And then that as things happen in the world, it's like, it does feel like a particularly like a safe space for laughter to keep you from crying. Heidi Schreck wrote that. She came and saw the show, the wonderful writer and performer of What the Constitution Means to Me. And she was like, that she came with her mother and that they laughed for a solid 2 hours, and that it was such a relief and a break from crying, you know. And I just thought that was stunning of her to do. And she sent us big bouquet of flowers to all the gals. So there's that, you know, it can feel like a kind of a cathartic place to be together and go, yeah. And it also is a safe space for boys, you know. All are welcome here at POTUS.
It's a good reminder why comedy can be just as powerful as drama, I think, in terms of how it reacts to today.
I think so, and that laughter, really laughing, is cathartic too. It releases endorphins in you. I mean, you are changed. You are changed by it.
Yeah.
And I hear people really gut laughing in this, and that just makes me so happy.
Well, speaking of gut laughing, before I let you go, I would love to take a little trip down memory lane with you, because I am sort of obsessed with your Tony speech for The Little Dog Laughed. It's absolutely one of my favorites. So I would just love your perspective on it. You know, Audra McDonald, Brian Dennehy announce your name and hand you the Tony.
Yes.
What goes through your mind as you're up there doing your speech?
Well, I was just nominated with such legends, you know, and they were elderly then. I mean, but like, you're going to give it to Angela Lansbury. That, you know, you're going to give it to fucking Vanessa Redgrave, who did a one-person play about all the grief that a person can deal with in 1 year. You know, the year of magical thinking. And I literally was like, just get out of Dodge. When I was walking up there, I was saying, you have got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. And when I watched it back and I'm swinging up that aisle, flashing that dresser, I'm like, oh my God, I look like a psychotic, angry person. I look like I'm angry that you gave me a Tony. I mean, I was tickled. I was tickled and just so like surprised. Like, you have got to be kidding me. This is not happening right now. And like I say, it was like the first time I got to open a Broadway show. And it was closed. You know? I was like, what? No. Which I gotta say, the next 2 times I was nominated, I had to do a matinee and then get ready and go to the show. Oh, it's better when your show is closed, because then you can go to the Tony luncheon and drink, and you know, you have plenty of time to get ready and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I hope you're able to have some fun this year at the Tonys. So
me too.
I'm very excited for you to experience all that. Congratulations again on your nomination. It's been wonderful to talk with you.
Thank you. You're the sweetest. I loved it.
Great. For everyone who's out there watching, subscribe to Gold Derby. Keep in touch with us throughout the rest of the Broadway season. Julie, thanks so much again.
Absolutely. Thank you.